Dear children, good afternoon. Today I am going to teach the poem that is Grandma Climbs a Tree. Grandma Climbs a Tree. It is a poetry lesson which is by Ruskin Bond. First and foremost, we shall discuss the writer of this poem or the poet of this poet. I have already told you the writer of this poem is Ruskin Bond. He was born in 1934. Now he lives in Missouri. He was born in 1934 and he now lives in Missouri. He wrote his first novel, The Room on the Roof, when he was only 17. When the poet was only 17 years old, he wrote his first novel. That novel is The Room on the Roof. And then he wrote 30 books for children. After that, he had written 30 books for children. Grandma Climbs a Tree. It is a poem which is by Ruskin Bond. It is a tree. It is a poem which shows Bond's great ability to enjoy unusual events and actions. In his autobiography, Scenes from a Writer's Life, Bond talks about his Calcutta granny as a strange person who sat alone in the evenings playing Patience, a card game. So, in this poem, we discussed that the Ruskin's Bond's grandma means granny, old mother. She had a rare and peculiar skill. That the skill was she wanted to climb a tree or any tree. During her old age, her habit was to climb the tree. In this poem, the writer or the poet, the Ruskin Bond, just wanted to tell his granny's attitude towards that climbing the tree. So, it is the explanation about the poet of this poem, Ruskin Bond. Now, I would like to read this poem first and foremost. Dear children, please listen to my model reading with much more attention. Grandma Climbs a Tree, which is by Ruskin Bond. My grandma was a genius. You would like to know why? Because she could climb trees. Spreading her high, she would be up their branches in a trice. And mind you, when last she climbed a tree, she was 62. Ever since childhood, she would have this gift for being happier in a tree than in a lift. And though as years went by, she would be told that climbing trees should stop when one grows old, and that growing old should be done about gracefully. She would laugh and say, well, I will grow disgracefully. I can do it better. And we had to agree, for in all the garden there wasn't a tree. She hadn't been up at one time or another, having learned to climb from a loving brother when she was 6. But it was feared by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. The outcome was different. While we were in town, she climbed a tree and couldn't come down. After the rescue, the doctor took Granny's temperature and said, I strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. We sighed with grief and tucked her up well. Poor Granny, for her it was like a brief season in hell. Confined to her bedroom, while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. But she had held her peace till she felt stronger. Then she sat up and said, I will lie here no longer. And she called for my father and told him undaunted that a house in a treetop was what she now wanted. My dad knew his duties. He said, that's all right. You will have what you want, dear. I will start work tonight. With my expert assistance, he soon finished the core, made her a tree house with windows and a door. So Granny moved up, and now every day she climbed to her room with glasses and tray. She sits there instead and drinks sherry with me, upholding her right to reside in a tree. So dear children, it is the model reading of this poem, Grandma Climbs a Tree. I have told you already, Grandma means granny. Granny means old mother. Here we see a character in this poem. That character was Ruskin Bond's granny. The poet just wanted to tell about his granny's attitude or habit. She had a rare habit, or she had a very peculiar habit. That habit was climbing a tree during her old age. During her old age. When she was 62 years old, she hadn't stopped her climbing a tree because it was her habit, it was her peculiar attitude towards the climbing of trees. So in this poem, the Ruskin Bond, the poet of this poem, Ruskin Bond just wanted to tell about his granny's that kind of rare attitude or rare habit. Let us discuss about that attitude. The poem begin this poem like this. My mother was a genius. The poet told that or tells that his mother. Here the poet told that my mother. Where we introduce his granny as his mother. He told directly to his mother, but we told that we use the pronoun is instead of my. So, his mother was a genius. The poet told that his mother was his granny was a genius. Genius means very intelligent. Why he called her intelligent? Because she had a strange gift of climbing the tree. So he could call his mother or grandmother as a genius. You would like to know why? You would like to know why I could call her a genius? Because she could climb trees. She could climb trees. Who could climb trees here? The poet's granny or the poet's grandmother could climb a tree during her old age. So, by that attitude or by that habit, the poet tells that she was a genius. She could climb a tree, whether the tree spreading or high. She didn't bother about that, whether the tree was spreading, whether it was spreading with the branches or whether it is very high from the ground. She would be up their branches in a trice, fraction of second. She could be climbed that tree, and mind you, when you last she climbed a tree, she was 62. Last she could climb a tree, her age was 62 years. During that old age, the poet's granny was ready to climb a tree. Last she could climb the tree when she was 62 years old. So the poet calls his granny was a genius. Was a genius. So when last she climbed a tree, she was 62. Ever since childhood, she would have this gift for being happier in a tree than in a tree. Why she wanted to climb a tree? Because she was very happy to climb a tree than in a lift. So she could wanted to climb a tree very much, or she could wanted to climb a tree very well. So in this stanza, first stanza, the poet called out his grandmother was a genius. The thing was here, why the poet called out his grandmother was a genius, because she could climb a tree even her old age 62 years. So it is the inner theme of this first stanza. Shall we go to the second one stanza? Okay, children. And though as years went by, she would be told that climbing trees should stop when one grow old. The family members of the poet's family suggested to her, please stop to climb the tree. It is not suit for the climbing the tree during this age. So you should stop the climbing the tree. When they suggested their granny like that, and that growing old should be done about gone about gracefully. When you grew old, you could sit in the house. You did not try to climb a tree. Please, you stop that attitude. When they suggest to her like that, she would laugh and shake. When she heard those suggested words, she became a laugh, or she expressed her laughing towards them and say, well, I will grow disgracefully. Why? Because I agree. The growing old is anybody's life's very important role. But I can do it better. When I grow oldest, I can do it better. I can do it in a better way because of my experience, or because of my experience, she could do that work in a better way, and they had to agree for in all the garden there wasn't a tree. When she was not stopped climbing the tree, the poet and his family members cut off all the trees in their garden because their care was about their grandmother. So it is the second stanza. It is the meaning of the second stanza. She hadn't been up at one time or another. It is not the one thing or another thing. Occasionally, gradually, she could climb a tree. Occasionally. So, she hadn't been up at one time or another, having learned to climb from a loving brother when she was 6. She had learned that climbing a tree by her loving brother when she was only 6 years old. The poet told that she had learned that climbing a tree by her loving brother when she was 6 years old. So, having learned to climb from a loving brother when she was 6. But it was feared by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. They were feared about their grandmother's that kind of attitude. The reason for their fear was she could have a terrible fall one day. So they were feared about their granny. The outcome was different while they were in town. While they were living in the town, the result was very different. She climbed a tree and couldn't come down. When they were living in the city or in the town, grandma climbed a tree but she couldn't come down because she lost her capacity, she lost her enthusiasm, she lost her strength, but she had wanted to climb a tree more and more. So one day she went towards the tree, but she was not able to come down. When this news reached to them, they rescued their granny. The parents of the poet's family rescued or the protected granny from the tall tree, and the doctor who came to check her health took granny's temperature and said, he firmly suggested to her that he strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. The poet just strongly suggested or warned to her, please take a week bed rest. A week bed rest. The doctor strongly suggested grandma and take a week bed rest. You should take the bed rest for a week. The doctor suggested her like that. When the doctor suggested her for a week bed rest, when the family members heard that, they sighed. They happily heard those words and tucked her up well and suggested her, please cure well, please cure well. They suggested like this. The outcome, we sighed with grief and tucked her up well. Our granny, for her, it was like a brief season in hell. When the doctor strongly suggested her to take a week bed rest, it was seemed to be a brief season in hell. It was seemed to be torture to grandma. She was basically a active mom or active grandmother. But when the doctor suggested her to take a bedweek rest, it seemed to a hell, or it seemed to as a torture. As a torture to grandma, because the thing was she was very active woman or she was very active grandmother, and she did not want to let her life while sleeping on the bed. So it was seemed to very unhappy to her or very torture to her. It was like a brief season in hell. Dear children, please look at about this word hell. H-E-L-L, hell. Hell means in Kannada Swarga. Hell means Naraka. The antonym to this hell is heaven. ಹೆವನ್ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ನರಕ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಹೆಲ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನರಕ, ಹೆವನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ. ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಂಟೋನಿಮ್ಸ್. These words are called as antonyms. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪದಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಪದಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಬೈ ದೈರ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಬಾಯ್ ಗರ್ಲ್, ಮದರ್ ಫಾದರ್, ಡೇ ನೈಟ್, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಅಗ್ಲಿ, ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಅನ್ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ, ಬಿಟ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಅಗ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ antonyms or opposite words. Opposite words means the words they are opposite by their meaning. So here hell means naraka. The antonym to this hell is here heaven. Heaven means swarga. So it was like a brief season in hell, confined to her bedroom, while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. When she was very palely taking bed rest on a bed, it was seems to be very dull to her. It is the explanation of the fourth stanza. Shall we go to the fifth one? Okay. But she had held her peace till she felt stronger. When she became stronger after a week bed rest, then she sat up and said, I will lie here no longer. I will lie here no longer. ನನಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. She ordered to her son. She called for her father, for poet's father, and told him undaunted. That means she ordered to her son without hesitatingly. Undaunted means without hesitatingly. So she called for her father and told him undaunted that a tree house in a tree top was what she now wanted. Now she wanted a tree house. Now she wanted a tree house, so she ordered to her son to build a tree house on a tree top. So is the poet's dad or father knew his duties because he was a very beautiful person. He said, "That's all right, and you will have what you want, dear. I will start work tonight." After that, he began his work to build a tree house on a tree top for his granny. So it is the fifth stanza's explanation. And the last stanza, with the poet's expert assistance or the helpingness, the poet's father soon finished the core. Core means here task. Doing work. Task means doing work. He finished his work in very soonly. So he soon finished the work. Made her a tree house. Made her a tree house on a tree top, and a tree house. That tree house had had with the windows and a door. That tree house had windows and a door. So the poet's father built a tree house on a tree top with the windows and a door. So granny moved up. When the poet's father built her a tree house, the poet's granny moved up, and now every day she climbed to her room with glasses and tray. When she was climbed up the trees, the poet climbed to her room with glasses and tray. With glasses and tray, she sits there in a state and drinks sherry with the poet. When the poet bring the wine, sherry means drinking wine. When the poet bring the wine glasses, wine bottle and glasses on the tree house, togetherly they drank the wine, upholding her right to reside in a tree. So, occasionally or daily, the poet went to the tree house with the glasses and the wine togetherly on that tree house or on that tree. They togetherly drank the wine. So, it is the explanation of this poem, Grandma Climbs a Tree. So, dear children, it is a very rare and beautiful and very rareful story that the poet's grandmother had a very peculiar habit. That habit was climb a tree. When she was 62 years old, she did not bother about her old age, but she always wanted to climb a tree in a better way. So the poet says that she had a very cheerful, or she had a very strange strength to climb a tree. So we learn these things in this poem. It is about Grandma Climbs a Tree. Thank you. Dear children, I would like to read this poem once again. Grandma climbs a tree, which is by Ruskin Bond. My grandmother was a genius. You would like to know why? Because she could climb trees. Spreading or high, she would be up their branches in a trice, and mind you, when last she climbed a tree, she was just 62. For since childhood, she would have this gift for being happier in a tree than in a leaf. And though as years went by, she would be told that climbing trees should stop when one grow old, and that growing one should be gone with about gracefully. She would laugh and say, I will grow disgracefully. I can do it better. And we had to agree, for in all the garden there wasn't a tree. She hadn't been up at one time or another, having learned to climb from a loving brother when she was 6. But it was feared by all that one day she would have a terrible fall. The outcome was different. While we were in town, she climbed a tree and couldn't come down. After the rescue, the doctor took Granny's temperature and said, I strongly recommend a quiet week in bed. We sighed with relief and tucked her up well. Poor Granny, for her, it was like a brief season in hell, confined to her bedroom while every breeze whispered of summer and dancing leaves. But she had held her peace until she felt stronger. Then she sat up and said, I will lie here no longer. And she called for her father and told him undaunted that a tree house in a treetop was what she now wanted. My dad knew his duties. He had, that's all right, you have what you want. Dear, I will start work tonight. With his expert assistance, he soon finished the core, made her a tree house with windows and a door. So Granny moved up, and now every day I climb to her room with glasses and tray. She sits there instead and drinks sherry with him or with me, upholding her right to reside in a tree. So it is another model reading of this poem. Now, dear children, we shall discuss about the opposite words. Opposite words, I have told to you already. Opposite words means the words they are opposite by their meaning. By their meaning, for example, hell, heaven, in, out, morning, evening, and then day, night, and then boy, girl, and then father, mother, and then son, daughter, and then happy, unhappy, unhappy, and then regular, irregular, irregular, and sweet, bitter, and then far, near, and then fortunate, unfortunate, fortunate, unfortunate, and then guide, misguide, and then beautiful, ugly, and then top, bottom, and then on, off, These are the opposite words. Opposite words means the words they are opposite by their meaning. Opposites. Dear children, when you write the opposites to the any words, you remember one thing. When you make the opposite words by adding the prefix on, for example, happy, unhappy. You add the prefix word here, un. So it is one type, and another one is fortunate, unfortunate. Here you use the prefix un as a opposite or a prefix word. And another kind of another type of adding the opposite words are here, or to make the opposite words are here. Guide, misguide. Here you add miss word to the prefix or as a prefix. So guide, misguide, use, misuse. Use, misuse, like this. Time is notes again. ನಲವತ್ತು ನಿಮಿಷ 41 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 4 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ 45 ನಿಮಿಷ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Use, misuse. So it is another kind to add the prefix word to make a antonym or opposite word. When we add the prefix word ir as like this, regular, irregular, regular, irregular. By adding this IR, we may make the word as opposite word. So it is IR, regular, irregular. And when we add in as a prefix, it may make the opposite word. For example, correct, incorrect, like this, incorrect. And then in many times we may use the I am in as a prefix to make the opposite word, just like this, possible, impossible. Look at here, look at this blackboard here. Possible is a word. When we add prefix word in, it make a opposite word, impossible. So it is in. So by using these methods, by using these in, ir, un, miss, in, when we use these prefix word, when we use these prefix word as a opposite words, when we use them, after that the words became a opposite words. Dear children, look at this blackboard once again. These are all written opposite words, written the words which were opposite by their meaning. Just look at them. When we form them, when we form them, or when we wanted to form them by adding in, ir, un, miss, in, and so and so, they may become opposite words. Hell, heaven, in, out, morning, evening, day, night, boy, girl, father, mother, son, daughter, happy, unhappy, regular, irregular, sweet, bitter, far, near, fortunate, unfortunate, guide, misguide, beautiful, ugly, top, bottom, on, off, use, misuse, correct, incorrect, possible, impossible. When we use these techniques or when we use these steps, we may make or we may form opposite words. So it is about the antonyms or opposite words. Opposite words means the words they are opposite by their meaning. By their meaning. For example, boy, girl. Here the quality of these between these things different. So opposite. Boy, girl. Father, mother. And then son, daughter. Day, night. Morning, evening. In, out. And then guide, misguide. Beautiful, ugly. Top, bottom. On, off. These are all the words. They are opposite by their meaning. By their meaning, these kind of words are called as opposite words. Okay, dear children, it is the lesson about the poem Grammar Clients a Tree and functional grammar about the antonyms. Let us stop it now. Okay, thank you.